Hi friends, I'm Olga Koelsch and welcome to my studio. Today we're gonna paint 5 meadow flowers, wildflowers with tiny little buds, tiny little leaves. It's very trendy now. You probably see in all of the stores posters with wildflowers. So why not to paint your own poster, your own picture, frame it nicely and enjoy. Let's start. I will start painting with Foxglove, and what I'm doing first is painting the stem, and now I combine quinacridone rose and I just mix a little bit, take a little bit of color from the greenery part. I want to add maybe a hint of violet, so I just prepare palette so I could combine colors during the process. So at the top flowers I actually has small green clusters which I paint just with the tip of the brush, and I have prepared already my another brush, fine one, and I add some tips with the second brush with violet color while it is still wet and colors could flow into each other, intersect with each other. And Foxglove, the more it goes from the top to bottom, the more we could see actually these small little bells, and that's what I'm painting right now. So with small moves of the tip of the brush, I make the head, the head of the flower, and with violet I paint the actual flower. I press on the belly of the brush, and the more we go to the bottom, the bigger gets all these little bells. Just with the tip of the brush, our aim is to catch the shape of this bell correct. Here it will be just two flowers, and I want to separate them a bit. So I clean my brush, and just with the clean brush I remove a little bit of color from here to add some volume, and I want to add one more. You see, I just use the colors from my palette. I think you could find everything you need on your palette. No need to be precise with the colors. Our goal is just to catch the shape and the color. Maybe one more bell would be nice. Sometimes I paint with the tip of the brush to show some directions. And Foxglove has such a lovely bottom shape. Again, with the tip of the brush, with very very delicate moves, I paint this spot, and I want to add something more reddish in it, just for variety. And now we coming back to the greenery part. Could make some greenery around, and I paint in the stem. leaves, I just paint. I start with the tip of the brush, I press on the belly of the brush, wiggle the brush around, and that's how I get this leaves. And maybe one more. Again, tip of the brush, some wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here. And it's always nice to have some intersection of leaves. So again, with the tip of the brush, some wiggle, 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 a little bit of water, even with a little bit of violet, and wiggle, wiggle, and connect to the stem. Our Foxglove is ready. Here it is. Our next flower will be Cornflower, and again I will make a cluster. So I start from the top where the buds are very small and delicate and go a little bit down, and at the same time with the second brush I already add some blue shades. And Cornflower has very specific petals, so I paint them just with the tip of the brush, and I use ultramarine blue because I think that's the best match. And with the second brush I immediately connect this blue bud with the main stem, add some greenery around just with the tip of the brush. Now I want to paint the bigger flower. I paint the middle and with the tip of the brush, and then with the belly of the brush I paint the cornflower petals. It's a little bit tricky because they are very delicate and has a very recognizable shape, but we will try our best. I want to emphasize the middle, so I just go again with the green color in here, and I would like to start immediately the second flower, the second open flower, and I add a little bit of violet to add some variety. This, you see, it's just a little bit difference in the shades, but first of all it divides one flower from the other, and add some variety. And again, greenery middle. In actual flowers it's maybe not that green, more yellowish, but we paint in artistic manner and we need a little bit of contrast here. I want to connect everything to one stem, so I paint stem with the tip of the brush, and I want to add some leaf here. I start with the tip of the brush and wiggle the brush very randomly and connect. Always nice to add some color from the flowers, violet for example, to unite all these details. But we need a greenery here, and I want to make a longer stem. And never paint a flower stem like this, like a straight line. Even if you look at the reference and it is straight, it looks a little bit childish. Always try to add some curvy parts on each. One more leaf. here, and I guess would be nice to add some half open buds. For example, here I just mix a little bit of purple color and ultramarine blue. I am also thinking of adding one bud here. Just a bit of greenery around. Maybe again here, not to a little bit to fill in this space, and this is it. Next one should be funny. It's called Cuckoo flower. We have a lot of these cuckoo flowers here in Norway right now. They are very tiny, lovely. So I use very diluted purple color. These cuckoo flowers, they have 4 petals, so keep this in mind. Just 4 petals around, and while it is still wet, I add greenery to the stem and some closed buds here, and I will paint the middle of this bud and connect everything into one stem. And do not forget to make it curvy, although in the real life it might be very straight, but it's important, it's pleasant for eye when I could follow some curve, not a straight line. When you paint flowers in this loose technique, on one thought you could think, oh, it's very simple, no need to bother about details, and that's true. Although it's important to observe the flower and try to show them more specific elements. For example, amount of petals, shape of greenery. For example, this cuckoo flower, it has these small branches with a lot of leaves on it, and it's important to show it so it would be recognizable. So anyway, you have to observe the flowers, and this is so lovely. It's absolutely pleasant thing to observe the flowers. Last thing I would like just to a little bit emphasize some petals to add some depth. Just use the same violet color, and here and there I just add some extra touches. Here it is. Now it's time to paint hairbell. I mix ultramarine blue, purple, and I will be use this mixture, and I start again with some taupe, with some buds. I wash my brush, I a little bit dilute the color, and with the second brush I paint greenery. Just connect. I let's say put this bud on the whole stem, and here comes the bellflower. Everybody knows how the bellflower looks like. I say bellflower. I think in many places you call it harebell. So if somebody knows what's the correct name, just leave some feedback. Just write me in comments. I'm very curious in flowers names and their meanings. And another bud will be here. So I use more purplish color for the top, for the top leaves, petals, and I use more a hint of ultramarine for the bottom flowers, for the bottom petals, just like this. And I leave the middle to add pastels and stamens just on the top. And I want to connect all this. I think would be nice to add maybe one more. Again, purple colors. You see, I like when colors flow into each other, and that's what makes our painting artistic, vivid, interesting. More. And maybe, yes, I will add a tiny little closed bud here, just for the composition, just to make it looks better, interesting. I add some little tiny details, greenery. Done. Next one, I'm curious if you could recognize this flower while I'm painting. So I'm not telling you what it is for a few minutes. Of course I will tell you just in a moment. So, and you probably already could spot and could guess what is it. Yeah. And of course it is forget-me-not flower. Now I just add some greenery, some green middles, and I set all the flowers into one stem. Forget-me-not flowers, they have very long shaped curvy leaves. Very specific for this type of flower, and I want to show it. Maybe one more just here. When you paint, you keep in mind what will be on the front, what will be on the bottom. For example, I would like to this green leaf go beneath of the flower, so that's why I stopped and painted quickly the flower itself. And of course it's nice to add some little buds here, and maybe one more. Oh yes, one more cluster here. to add needles for these flowers, these tiny flowers, and I would like, I'm mixing purple color and ultramarine like in the previous flowers, just to add some variety. It's always interesting when some hues mixing one with each other, it really adds the difference instead of you paint just with one color. This would be like half open, and I think we are good here. Here it is, forget-me-not. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the process. Please leave me in comments which wildflowers you would like to paint next, and subscribe my channel, follow me in Instagram, olga.koelsch. See you next time, bye bye.